Hey everybody, this is Jim checking in. Just wanted to, you've probably seen a mess on the floor. I'm doing this as much for myself to make sure and check that I haven't forgotten anything before I depart tomorrow, as well as answering a question I've gotten most often from everybody is, what are you bringing on this trip? So I thought I would share with you guys everything I'm bringing. Some of the stuff is really kind of meaningless and just generic stuff, and again, that's more from my checklist. And some of the stuff is really important. I want to share with you guys too, so maybe that'll make sense. One of the things I'm bringing, let's start with what I talked about, right? So there's my $6 I mentioned. That's going to be a 2 for $4 Gatorade and two $1 bottles of water, and I really hope and pray that will last the trip, and that somehow humanity will come up. And again, I'm not looking for freeloaders, but if somebody wants to sit down and have lunch with me, or buy me a water, or throw a water at me roadside, it'd be greatly appreciated. I'm not trying to claim that I won't have a backup plan. I do. So for those of you that are thinking I'm trying to set some kind of goal here, I'll be okay one way or the other. But I think it's important that I'd love to be able to tell that story, and that's the game plan. Over here is a couple of refrigerator magnets. I do believe in mantras. You may have heard. These two mean a lot to me. This one might be really applicable to me in my life as I'm having this kind of, what some might consider a midlife crisis. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. And I try to express that to my kids as much as possible. This next one really is about, you can read it however you want to, but me as a dad and what I'm thinking about this journey. To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. So to each and every one of you out there that have battled any kind of issues where you think that, hey, you're lost or anything like that, you are the world to somebody, and always remember that. So I'm going to be bringing my license and driver's license and some other information behind there for ID. I hope the cops are never called on me, but if they are, I want to be able to provide them ID and so forth. Up here is something I hope can fit in my backpack. It's just a football, but as I was telling somebody yesterday, the beautiful thing about sports, when I was a kid growing up, I could walk onto a playground anywhere near my house and just walk up and get involved in the game with 10, 15, 20 perfect strangers. Didn't matter what race they were, what religion they were, what sexual orientation they were. Sports just brought us together and we played. And as I said, if I walked up to a stranger on the street and started having a conversation, some may engage me, some may not. If I have a football out and just make eye contact with somebody and pat the football and throw it to them, before you know it, almost 10 out of 10 times somebody will be sitting there having a catch with me. And again, in my crazy ambition of this trip, I'm hoping that people pull up alongside and say, I want to play catch with that guy, even if they don't want to do anything else. It'd be cool if roadside, I'm tired and need a break, and somebody sees me and knows what I'm doing, and I pull out the football and we just play catch for 10 minutes. I think it'd be a beautiful statement. So those are some things there. Let's get through some of the other stuff. So over here I've got, someone gave me a bug net. I don't know how and when I'll be trenching through the swamps of central United States, but I have that in case I need it. A windbreaker. There's going to be some cooler days out there. I'm bringing 3 pairs of kind of nylon light pants. I'm not going to be wearing shorts. Just going to be wearing those 3 and hopefully keep them clean and washed. Next to it's a pair of thermals. At night it does get cool, especially if you've been hot all day. So I got a little pair of thermal undies for myself. That blue bag is just something to stick all my miscellaneous toiletries in. I've got 5 or 6 of my shirts that have the symbol on there. People have asked about purchasing them. You can go onto the website, pttjourney.com. They're available, and we'll ship them out to you. I have people at my house that are willing to help me out and ship them out. If you're interested in finding out about helping from a fundraising standpoint. I'm bringing a bunch of these undershirts, all different colors, but I like to kind of have this tank top undershirt underneath any other shirt. It just kind of is an extra layer to absorb sweat and kind of helps cool me down a little bit. You don't really need to know, but I've got some brand new and some old undies over there, so I'll probably bring about 8 pairs of those with me. Coming back again, I got a bunch of socks, about 8 pairs of socks. The top one I was recommended to, it's supposed to be really helpful when you're hiking, and not the white cottons one underneath it. The problem is they're relatively costly, and as I don't have a job anymore, I didn't invest in the socks, so hopefully I'll get by with those white socks. I've got a couple of hats. You see the Virginia Tech hat there. I'm going to be burning through those pretty quick. I can't really pack enough for the journey because I'm going to sweat through them. They're going to be disgusting. You could already see the sweat marks on that one. So I'm kind of hoping that if folks let me stay with them, they kind of donate a hat to me that's their favorite team or organization, and I can wear it. And the next morning when I do my video, they can see that, I wore it for them and things, and that'll help me. And just they know it's going to be disposable because after a few days I'm going to have to toss it. Over here we've got, let's see, what do we got? survival tent in case, God forbid, something happens and I don't get someone to engage me and let me crash at their place. I have this little survival tent. Or roadside one day, I'm not feeling well, have one of my migraines, I got something I can set up and go from there. This one here is really key. In case I got to walk at night, it's kind of a wrist and ankle band, a reflective tape thing, and that was given to me as a gift from my neighbor Pat. A lot of these little things were. Thank you, Pat, for thinking of me that way. I also have this emergency blanket. Again, you never know what happens when you're out there. Get caught up in a cold rainstorm. A weather system comes through that I wasn't expecting, and that can kind of keep me warm. This here is my rain poncho. I was going to go with a rain suit, but the reality is I'm going to try to work around the rain as much as possible. So I think the poncho will be just fine. I've got 2 hand towels over here. Again, I can't pack too many, and I'm probably going to ask people to don't, because I'm going to burn through those pretty quick. But one thing unfortunate about me is I do sweat an awful lot, and walking, there's not going to be anything to do but sweat. And I'm going to kind of need those as I go. A lot of toiletries and things like that. Some wet naps, some dental floss, a locking key, a lot of bandages. This is sports tape. I don't for a second think I'm not going to be bloodied and blistered on this trip. I don't think I could walk 3,000 miles without. So I'm trying to bring as much precautionary stuff as I can. Of course, toiletries. Over here I've got my razor blades. I'm a big believer in this Dollar Shave Club group. They mail the razors right to your home. They've been fantastic. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get them if all possible. I actually reached out to them. They do a kind of monthly newsletter, and I thought it might be a nice story to cover me, but I sent it to the PR department. They never responded back. So I also backed up with some cheap old Equate twin blades just to get me through, because I don't want to be a bearded mess that when I go to ask them if I can stay at their house, I look like a homeless person they might be afraid of. I've got a little bit of cologne, so if I do settle down at night after a shower, hopefully I can not smell disgusting. Got plenty of my meds. I got some Primatene. When you suffer from asthma, you never can be prepared enough for that. Unfortunately, I got some migraine medicine here. The problem is that the one fear I do have is I'm not bringing my nebulizer for breathing. Should I suffer a bad asthma attack? So I have other precautions for that, but I don't have the little machine there. Again, bandages, toothpaste, toothbrushes. This here is an inflatable air pillow. So this is great with a couple of big puffs. This thing blows up into a nice sized pillow for me. So again, between that and my sleeping bag, which you'll see right over here, I won't need much if people should be kind enough to let me stay with them. You'll see on there is a Dad's Guardian Angel pin that was given to me as a gift, which means a lot to me and will be there. My daily vitamins, which I take a lot of. I do have a long sleeve shirt I'll be taking. This is my little tripod for my phone and selfie stick, and I can hang it up on a fence and talk to it if I need to pull over and talk. Advil. There's a couple of things which I think this world would never be the same without, and that's Advil and Johnson's baby powder. So if you heard my video yesterday, it probably turned a lot of people off. Unfortunately, rashes and abrasions and things like that are going to be part of this journey, and there's nothing in the world as soothing as baby powder. And here's a hint to you guys that might want to try to be romantic with their wives sometime. You know, they always talk about jellies and lotions and stuff like that. One of the nicest feelings is if you lay your lady down and sprinkle dust baby powder on her back lightly and rub it in. Your skin is so smooth and amazing. So again, I think I'm doing a service trying to help those guys out there that might want to have a romantic night with their wife and don't really know how to go do it. Trust me. Some songs I'll play for you later, and some baby powder, and you're good to go. Obviously, little shaving creams. I don't know, hair mousse, don't know why that's here. I got a little travel knife, fork, and spoon in case I guess there's some roadkill. I'm terrible at taking pictures of this, but some roadkill, I guess I can carve it up and eat like a Neanderthal right there on the road, side of the road. You see a lot of reading glasses. As you get older, reading glasses are like pocket combs. You need them all over, and they're never there when you need them. So I figure if I bring like 12 of everything, reading glasses and combs, I'll always have one when I'm there. As we come over here, this gets more into the practicality of the book and so forth. I have a hard binder. I've got several different size pads and pens. This one's going to be on my side with me all the time. So if just someone comes on the road and I want to make some notes to myself, I'll have that with me. I've got another pad here, different size pads, my agenda where I'm going, and this will be locked up in here along with in this folder, along with any electronics and charges and other things that in case I get into a rainstorm, they're protected from the weather. Over here I've got my sunglasses, a very critical back scratcher. To those of you that have ever been home and had an itch you couldn't get to, these are critical. I can't imagine being on the side of a road with nothing ahead for 15 miles and itching like crazy, so that'll help. Another gift was these little micro flashlights, which will help be seen if I'm out on the road. This is an armband, which I tried to use, but I don't know how these people use these things with your phone. Nearly impossible. I'm bringing some of my flyers and some of my, what I call my business cards. These are how I kind of hype myself. I just walk up to strangers and kind of explain what I'm doing and leave this behind. This was created before I had my website up, so I try to tell people to go to pttjourney.com and they click on everything from there. People have asked how they can help. Well, you can go to any Staples around the country. I can give you my password or my sign-on, and you can print these up yourself. And for like 20 bucks for 500, you can ask your church or your groups or your friends and family to pass them out and spread the word, and it will only help me. I've got some toilet tissue. I pray that I won't need to go side of a road and that I'll find a place for that. Here's a couple laminated articles. This was an article that was done on me, but I laminated it so I can bring it in case someone wants to know who it is or what I'm doing, so they don't think I'm a complete psychopath or if the police get called on me. I've got some other paperwork. I've got some pictures from way back in the day when I had another trip that Heather and the kids did together for me, which meant the world to me. A couple things I really want to get to as I wrap this up. I've got some Tide Pods, so if I have to go to a laundromat to clean myself up, I'll do that. But a couple things I really need to touch on, along with the Gold Bond foot powder, because I'll need that. So this here is a solar battery charger for my phone and my computer, and I can do that every day. I plug in my USB cords, and they're good to go. And this one here was about $30, and this one also will recharge my phone 5 times. So if I charge this at night, I was afraid that my phone was going to go dead from trying to not iPod, that's the word I'm looking for. You know, webcast some of these radio shows I like to listen to and TV shows, and this will help me stay charged 5 different times. More bandages. But now we're getting into a couple of things that I really want to share with you. If you've stuck with me this long, I really appreciate it. So I'm bringing 2 pairs of shoes. This one here is just kind of an irrelevant break of the day kind of pair. But this pair of shoes really is everything to me. I got turned on to these. It's a pair of shoes by a company called Brooks. If you see here, it's called, I guess, the Addiction. Well, not that side. Over here might be the Addiction 13. I've walked 15 miles in these things, and you wouldn't even know it. I can't explain to anybody that just goes and buys sneakers off the rack. You're out of your mind having done that. For the extra $20, I had never heard of Brooks. You know, they don't have a lot of Be Like Mike commercials, but they make the greatest walking shoes I've ever had in my life. Much thanks to Mr. Baum at the Flying Foot, who took the time to turn me on to these. I probably needed to buy 2 or 3 more pair, but I can't lug them across the country, and unfortunately money's tight, so as I get out there, hopefully I'll find a way to get another pair or 2 of these out my way. The next thing that's very important as I wrap up is I'm bringing 1 book with me. A lot of you are probably thinking, oh, he's going to talk about the Holy Bible, which I don't begrudge anybody that wants the Holy Bible with them. I believe in God, but my religion is humanity. I believe in people. And there's a book I bought on a business flight when I was relevant in the business world some time ago. And there was this book called The Right Words at the Right Time. And to tell you a little bit about this book, there's so many things that tie into it. First of all, I hope that kind of my journey inspires some of this right here. But this book was written by Marlo Thomas. Now, Marlo Thomas was an actress and an activist. Her dad is Danny Thomas, an actor, and he's also the founder of St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So because of losing my brother to cancer and not really being around to understand what stresses are put on my family, financially and emotionally, what St. Jude's does is it supplies health care to sick children and doesn't ask for a penny from the parents and lets them concentrate on getting their children well. So along with the fact that my own daughter, after 4 miscarriages, had to go in for surgery a month into this, and I had to realize the frailty of life. So this book is a book that's written about people, and it's called The Right Words at the Right Time, and it's just normal people, and it's significant. Now, granted, some of these stories are really extreme, but it just is the meaning of somebody, not necessarily somebody close to them, just a teacher, a mentor, a stranger, that offered a hand of goodwill or a gesture, and for whatever reason, somebody that was bottoming out saw life in a different way, and it changed their life around. And I would love to have people share stories with me like this on the website. So if you do nothing for me, guys, if you do nothing at all from here on out, please look into buying yourself some Brooks shoes. You'll thank me for it later. If you need them mailed to your Flying Feet in York, Pennsylvania, we'll help you out there. And get online on Amazon. I think there's a version where there's celebrities as well as just common people. The Right Words at the Right Time. Buy this book. Read this book. It will give you perspective in life. Lastly, I got 5 seconds here. I'm going to try to make this all fit into this here and into that bag there. So, love you guys. Have a great day. Thank you for listening.